AV SuperFriends On Topic is an independent production wholly owned and operated by AV SuperFriends, LLC. For the highest quality recording of all of our shows, visit avsuperfriends.com.
Before we begin another thoughtful, focused episode of AV SuperFriends On Topic, we need to address some of you. And you know who you are. You listen to On Topic because it has a clear subject, a manageable runtime, and the comforting illusion that we are serious professionals. But while you've been hiding here in the safe, respectable part of the feed, you've missed Off the Rails, where we discuss the following topics. At Infocom, we discovered every product now has an API, everything has been lightly seasoned with AI, and the more mystery boxes Justin adds to a system, the cheaper it apparently becomes. Then we investigated classroom ownership and learned that universities have general purpose rooms, departmental rooms, shared rooms, covered rooms, rooms nobody will pay for, and rooms assigned through what appears to be a poorly regulated pyramid scheme. We also accidentally developed an unauthorized CTS study guide based on ignoring the math, leaving work before 5, and determining sound levels from the hallway. Also somehow, document cameras are back, emerging from storage closets like beige plastic cryptids demanding VGA adapters. You missed all of that because you only listened to On Topic. That's not being selective. That's neglect. So after today's episode, go back and listen to Off the Rails. All of it. You clearly have some catching up to do.
This is AV SuperFriends On Topic, a 30-minute monthly roundtable focused on a single topic. This discussion will be opinionated, to the point, and saturated with our well-known blend of painfully won expertise and deeply ingrained immaturity.
For July 17, 2026, it's the best sounding and most internally skilled podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends Off. Whoa, hold it. My whole screen just changed here. This is the AV SuperFriends On Topic, episode number 75. Do not touch the little button next to your trackpad. It moves things on your screen. Confused the heck out of me. Broadcasting live from the loading dock to the lectern, from the cable spool to the control room, pulling wire, mounting displays, terminating connectors, tuning DSPs, and commissioning classrooms without submitting a change order. We're rack builders, button pushers, signal switchers, and occasional institutional troublemakers. I'm Chris Decker. You're tuned in for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure with the AV SuperFriends, and let's say hello to that panel, a slightly expanded panel today. Get that in a moment with this one.
Oh, man. All right.
Our first panelist builds internal AV capability, one crooked rack shelf, mislabeled patch panel, and increasingly nervous dean at a time. He's a director of in-house rack stacking and institutional confidence from Kansas City. Say hello to Mr. Jamie Reinhardt.
Hi there. It's all a house of cards, but if you're a cheerleader, it works.
Cheerleader?
Hey, what?
Okay.
I didn't get that.
No one got that. You want to try again? You want to go back to one?
Well, I was trying to build confidence.
Our next panelist, no, it didn't work. Our next panelist intercepts one tiny change request before they evolve into full auditorium renovations with no added budget. He's a senior manager of scope creep capture and containment from Corvallis, Oregon. Say hello to Mr. Mark Kolozinski.
We can catastrophize anything into a project if we try hard enough.
If it's not a project, I'm not doing work on it.
That's right. It's the end of the world, though.
Our next panelist transforms 3 student workers, a borrowed crimp tool, and half an online training course into a campus integration department. He's an assistant dean of student labor, signal flow, and questionable certifications from Greensboro, North Carolina. Say hello to Mr. Larry Darling.
Yeah, that's not even a joke. That's exactly what I did at Butler. Three students, and we took it over.
Did you ever get back that crimp tool?
No, I took it with me.
It's worth money.
Our next panelist oversees the university's strategic transition from call the integrator to let's give Steve a ladder and see what happens. He's a vice president of vertical integration and horizontal cable management from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Say hello to Mr. Justin Rexing.
This is the actual real job. I don't know who Steve is, but we're going to have him pull some cable.
Let's give Steve a ladder and see what happens.
It's a real job. Says it's super important.
And joined by a special guest panelist, he personally assembles classroom systems while insisting that the smoke you see is normal, the firmware is up to date, and facilities approved all these new holes in the furniture. He's a lead fabricator of lecterns and liability waivers from Clemson, South Carolina. Say hello to Mr. Tim Dickson.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
I'm going to humor you, Chris.
Super happy to be here, by the way.
So on today's show, we're going to discuss building up your own internal AV integration team at your college university. But first, and everyone hates this, a little bit of housekeeping. So why don't you get it out of the way at the beginning? So if you're listening to this as a recorded MP3, congratulations. The system has been commissioned, the firmware has stopped updating, and someone finally found the correct USB audio device driver on the room PC. We stream live on Fridays at about 3:15 Eastern or 12:15 Pacific, or whenever the heck I get my act together today, because I'm obviously on a different setup and I mess with all my settings and all that crap.
I can barely tell, Chris.
Yes, it's amazing. You can join us for that live on Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. If you can't join us live, we still want you to connect with us on the socials. You can follow us at AV SuperFriends on Twitter, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, YouTube, all those fun places. Please don't forget to spread the word. If you could share this podcast with your coworkers, campus partners, consultants, integrators, electricians, networking teams, facility staff, and the associate dean who just discovered that classrooms now contain technology. Recommend it to anyone who's thinking about building an internal AV integration team, or someone who's currently paying an outside integrator $200 an hour to come in and troubleshoot something to discover the display was unplugged. If you really want to help, you can grab a hard hat, a label maker, a fiberglass ladder, and then wander around campus telling everyone you're part of the new internal AV integration team. Start pulling cable, updating drawings, correcting rack elevations, and quietly replacing every undocumented HDMI extender you find. By the time anyone asks who authorized this project, you'll already have a full standards document and 3 rooms undergoing commissioning. If you want to support our show, please consider donating. Your contributions help us to keep bringing you the honest content that you love or that you love to hate, and allow us to maintain our own internal podcast integration team consisting of several opinionated professionals, 1 functioning network switch, and a growing pile of USB audio adapters that no one's really willing to throw away. And you can find the donation link for that in our show notes or at the website. So thank you for listening. Please build your team, document your systems, label both ends of the cable, not just one, but both.
What?
Preferably with the same label.
Oh, come on.
And remember, it's only an internal integration AV department after somebody gives you a storage room full of old discontinued equipment and calls it a budget. So thanks for your support. We could not do this without you.
We bought this back then. We could probably still use it, right?
I still have a bunch of brand new, new in-box gear that has, ship dates on it, and the ship dates say, 2014. So thanks. So,
that's still good. There's life in that.
I can't
know whose life.
Bring myself to get rid of it, but, there it is.
Open.
So,
Yeah, make sure the smoke gets out of it.
Right.
Yeah, don't let the magic smoke out. So, Tim, today is your fault.
Yes.
Apparently, this was a topic that you came up, and Justin, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah.
Tim came up to us, bending your ear about this, and you're like, "We're going to get you on the show, and we're going to talk about all this stuff and see how's it going and what we're doing and all that fun stuff." So,
Justin just said, "Shut up."
I'm one to think that Tim was so inspired by this life-changing course that I taught at Avixa, 4 years ago, Tim, with Justin and Justin. It was like the most phenomenal class he's ever had. That he decided to create his own team, and this class is how to develop staff and standard operating procedures and onboarding and training and all that good stuff. So
here we are. What's the name of this class, Justin? So other people.
What was the name of it?
Managing staff.
Clever.
Yeah, it's
managing staff, clever. And
I think it's just that's it now.
Oh, you guys got rid of the last staff?
Yeah.
And next time it's just going to be managing.
Now it's just going to be managing.
It's just going to be staff.
We'll see. But he was so inspired that long ago that he decided to build his team. And I think Tim reached out to me on LinkedIn and was like, "Hey, got some questions. This thing's in a hurry. We're building it right now." And so, Tim, I guess just tell us about when you started this process and what challenges you went through and where you are today. Because I'm assuming you just dealt with integrators. And now you're trying to build up your internal team to take on some of that.
What is it you had the nerve to ask Justin to help you figure out?
Yeah,
that's really what we're trying to figure out here. Yeah,
I see that's my downfall right now. Yeah,
I'm starting to see his air. He's like, "Wait, what have I done?"
So I started Clemson about 13 years ago, and there was already an internal team. It was class tech, tier 1 support. We go out and we fix all the broken projectors and push the buttons for all the people and make that stuff work. And as my role has continued, I've done a lot more design to be involved with capital projects. Well, trying to manage the team of 4 techs and also design my classroom, do programming and capital projects is really taxing. We've got about 300 classrooms, and we've bringing on 1 new campus, 7 buildings, and then another campus or another main building on campus. So 8 buildings that have to be commissioned before the end of August. And I am running into so many headaches about so many missed opportunities, wrong floor boxes, the parts were ordered late, they get changed, missed drawings, who's going to commission the systems, because it started out as an external AV consultant, handed over to an architect. The architect says, yeah, we got it. Let's put some of this stuff on I'm getting there. Let's put some of this stuff on the EC, put some of this stuff on the GC. And it's just become a complete nightmare.
Work itself out.
So I'm talking with my facilities folks, and they're like, yeah, this is a great idea. And then I talk to my supervisor.
What's a great idea?
Yeah, we need to do that. To expand my team.
Yes.
So I want to be able to hire on essentially a field supervisor with 2 dedicated project technicians that could float in the classroom whenever they're not busy.
Can I pause you real quick? Why did you have to talk with facilities to do this?
Yeah, I was curious about that too.
The ever important dollar.
You work for IT though.
I do work for IT, but facilities is the one that's paying the outside AV consultant and the outside AV contractor and the AE and the architect and all of that. So they've got the money.
Divert those funds from going external to move them internal.
That's interesting.
You got it. You got it. So trying to get them on board as an option to buy in. Got some buy-in from that, and then I know that's your keyword.
Word in our class, we say every hour, get the buy-in.
So I approached my supervisor as the VP of customer success, and I'm like, here's what I want to try to do. He's taking it to my CIO, and everybody's like, yeah, this sounds great. This sounds great. I still don't have the money for it, but before I finalize with my CIO,
it sound good, yeah.
Before I, get things really finalized with my CIO, I was just wanting to bounce some ideas off of what do I actually need. So my idea is with my CTSD, I'll do all the design. Let me interface with the architect, get that stuff out there. I can do CAD, but it's not a strength. So maybe I can share that with the facilities folks. They should have a CAD person.
Figure that part out. That's not.
Yeah, but I do want a design apprentice, so to speak, that I can train up and help me out, visit some sites whenever I can, check me to make sure I did all of my coverages right and my distances right, that kind of stuff to bounce off of. I've got a good programmer in place now. I know I'm hitting all of Justin's key.
No, they don't. Nobody agrees with everything.
We agree with you.
Don't bring up your dirty math shit again. That's not real.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I was just hitting kind of here's what I really want this to be. What's the minimum I need to be asking for now versus later?
So I'm trying to set the stage here, so to speak. Are you trying to build out an integration team, or are you also going to be having these people involved in the support mechanism of the department as well?
That was my question. Like your support staff, can they supplement the install staff, or are they completely separate groups?
Yeah. So the phase 1 ask was give me a field engineer or a field supervisor and at least one other person. And I can run all of the documentation, and we'll hire an external AV contractor to actually do the installation. We'll come back and commission. The other ask is to bring on the extra technicians, and yes, they would be floating. They would be shadowing. Whenever classroom support's needed, the project guys get in the classroom. Whenever there's project support needed because there's just too many displays to hang in a day and the classroom's available, they would cross over and see that aspect as well. So there would be a lot of crossing over, but there would be some primary duties of you're needed here, you got to take care of this, then you can go help with the other.
So it sounds like you're trying to keep the knowledge labor in-house, and you're not so worried about outsourcing the installation labor. That's somebody's cool fire alarm thing. What was that?
That was you, Justin.
Kind of. Sorry. No, that was me. So, I mean,
Jamie has one.
I'm not against the outside contractor. We've got some good folks in this area that I don't mind using, as long as I get them the right documentation. I've done a couple of these kind of like trial, small scale type runs. Just a room here or close to us on campus, and then a room down on the coast, put all the documentation together, put the specifications together. Here's the requirements. Here's how the system's going to work. And I had one little hiccup with some programming. The user kind of changed how they wanted that, but ultimately it went in very easy and without any difficulty. The right cables got put in the right place, the right parts, and those were really easy. I've got another large project I'm working on now, larger, several rooms, and it's from the ground up, essentially. They gutted some basement stuff and they're putting new stuff back in. So I've been heavily involved with that. They told me, oh, you got low ceiling heights. I was like, wait a minute, we've got a 6 foot tall projection screen here and you're telling me the room's only 7.5 foot tall. We got to figure out something else.
Perfect.
So yeah,
Yes.
so I'm well aware of that. And I'm trying to get that, again, buy-in. I've got a lot of project managers for Clemson on my team.
So in that,
to get the buy-in, and then what do I actually need to be asking for? I'm asking for too little or too much.
So how broad are you involved with the overall kind of campus plan? How much insight do you have? Do you know what's going on 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
I don't get involved that far in advance. They are including me more with feasibility studies. Hey, we're going to take this building down, probably put this building up. What's the AV cost if we've got this many classrooms, flip rooms, auditoriums, that kind of stuff. So they are bringing me into feasibility studies to get some rough numbers.
Because I think when you start talking about building FTE, like bringing in, hiring people full-time in your organization, I think that forecast becomes really important, right? And so where are your needs going to have this requirement over the next 5 to 10 years? Do you have enough stuff in the pipeline that says I can warrant bringing in all these people in the name of this capital construction and all these projects and all that stuff moving forward? Or is the play support plus, right? And so that's what in my mind, I'm trying to figure out, am I scaling to meet construction and capital expansion? Or do I have growth that I'm needed in the support side that I can get those people to assist with and get to cover both these pieces? Because everything you build new, you also have to support. Right. And so there's going to be some expansion piece all the way around the board. And so I know that FTE don't come easy in places. So that's why I look to what does that forecast look like? Do you see more construction? Do you see more growth opportunity? Or is this like a onesie, twosie, maybe a refresh here or something like that? So that density of ask becomes important, at least how I would go about staging the ask to get that buy-in.
And another way to go about that, you've mentioned a lot of capital projects and new things like that. The way I did it at Butler was I was able to show a significant savings in the yearly refresh cycle of classrooms. Like when I showed them that I could save them $100,000 every year by building an internal staff, that's where the funds started to open up for
it. We're kind of similar. We started just not allowing integrations to do the everyday monotony of the refresh. And by doing that, now I can, like Larry said, I can justify having a staff of 6 or 7, right? And the knowledge workers too. So now you have your tech crew and your designer, your programmer, your management, whatever you need. Because just doing that, if your cost to turn over a classroom is $35,000, but the integrator's cost is $60,000, and then multiply that by 300, now all of a sudden you showed, and that's just the everyday monotony of university life. That's not capital. And then on top of that, we are able to say, oh, and by the way, because I'm sure you guys ebb and flow with your capital projects too. It seems like we get 4 or 5, and then all of a sudden there's this kind of like this little trough, and that's where you squeeze in some of these. So now you can ebb and flow with that too. But that's how we built our reputation, and I was able to justify our staff, because at the end of the day, they're willing to shell out money for the everyday experience for the teachers and faculty, where the capital project is one-time monies here and there, and they can just hire a guy. We'll just hire a guy.
And Jamie, most importantly, the capital funds are often it's donor funding, it's some sort of campaign. It's magic money that comes from somewhere else, so people don't care how it might affect that project. That's a $12 million project already. I don't care if you're going to save me $300,000.
But And if you can say that, you say, well, hey, we have the expertise. We've been doing this for years, or we take care of the rest of the campus. I can easily take on this building when it comes up. We have to support it anyway. Year over year for the next 3 years, we're going to save you $250,000 on this project, plus the ongoing support. That's how I was able to build my staff up. That's how right now I'm even doing some modifications and saying, look, I might need a junior designer. Like, I have a design person.
I like Tim's phrase, a design apprentice.
A design apprentice. Yeah. I'm going to be able to start that up. I was able to, I can now do like a programming and a program or two, because I can justify using them for everything else. And even cleaning up some of the BS that I've inherited from other places, right? Because every so often you get one of those. Like, what do you mean the conservatory bought their own system from whiz bang down the street? Mm-hmm. That thing sucks. I'll fix it when their warranty runs out. Mm-hmm. Boom, done. I fixed it in a couple of days. Now I can justify that cost, right? So that's how we kind of started building that staff. And justifying that staff with ongoing money, because it was directly tied to everyday operations within the university, where capitals just aren't. They're not tied to everyday operation. It's Daddy Warbucks' check
that way, right? And so I think that's you're trying to build security for the staff that you're going to advocate to get. And I think if money's kind of figured out and you understand what that trajectory looks like, and you know the capital projects, and you know where your support is, you have the foundation. Say, okay, here's how I can sustain these people. But then let's pretend like, okay, we have that. So what types of people make sense if that is the take? And I think mileage may vary on, at least from where I'm at and my vantage point, taking stock of what you do have. Do you have people that can be tooled into additional roles? Do you have a really strong student pipeline? Do you have kind of what subject matter expertise do you currently have? Because I think if you're going to go out and buy high-end skill, it's going to cost you a whole lot more than kind of building the utility skill and kind of and manufacturing those positions as you grow and those needs kind of proliferate.
I also, I'm going to tag on to Mark's and then change, but I also like the internal growth as well. Because as you identify some of your technicians, they're going to start gravitating. They're going to self-gravitate to an experience. You're going to have these, just your everyday techs, and some of them are going to say, I really want to program. Awesome, let's get you there. I really like project management. Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Let's pretend. I want to design. Tell me more about design. Tell me more about physics. And then you say, that doesn't exist. It's a unicorn.
Do not listen to Justin.
But I think they help.
Slap you.
I've also found it's a lot easier to get a pay rate by growing your like a pay rate increase by growing your internal staff. So sometimes our staffs at universities are undercompensated for the work they do. Sometimes. So, many times, often. But it's easier for me to justify a significant pay raise if they become a knowledge worker. So it's almost choose your own adventure, so that I can take care of you and you can take care of me. But I do like that building from the inside. I'm currently doing that now. I also like, my other pivot was, I like that you've already got a relationship with facilities. Because if you have a positive relationship with facilities, maybe it's not just the capital projects, but maybe they're doing floors. We're gonna redo floors over here in this other classroom building. Awesome. Well, we're going to come in and we're going to remove our podium, our lectern, and then we're going to kind of refresh that and put it back in at the same time, because the work's we already have to do the work. And while we're doing that during your project, now they might throw in a couple of pennies to help you with electricity, to help you with conduits, to help you with this other thing. Now you can go back to your administration and say, because I have this relationship with facilities, because we have these room overhauls and that relationship, we're also saving money on every one of those, because we're part of their painting project, we're part of their tiling project, we're part of their carpet, they're part of the ceiling replacements. Because you're going to get called in anyway, man. They're going to call you, come in, take all those speakers out. Awesome. So how can you pay?
I'm already giving that away for free. Yeah, we've been doing that. We go through and this auditorium is going to get a seating refresh and carpet and this and that. And,
right.
All right, what year are you going to do that? I'll work that into my LCR. So we already do that part.
So at least you have that that relationship that you can say, oh, and my extra staff is going to allow me to do that quicker, easier, more nimble, because they don't always tell you, right? We've all been there. Hey, can you come move this? We're going to start tomorrow.
This morning that actually happened.
Something.
Yeah,
I had one of those Monday this week.
Yeah. Tim, I had a quick question. You mentioned that you have about 300 classrooms. Are those all general inventory, or are those departmental spaces?
Oh, God, here we go.
I'm just saying that does impact the funding model of support. Like,
right.
Does it?
It does on most schools.
It does for me, yeah.
Yeah, so
Larry,
the
I've
provost...
worked at every university.
You have.
The provost back in 2019 did a reclamation of about 70 rooms and got me up to a total of 300 general inventory rooms.
Awesome.
We still have conference rooms and labs and special labs, wet labs, trial labs, all that stuff for chemistry, bio, that kind of stuff. They maintain those. They call me in for them. I treat it like I'm an outside integrator, and I design it, I price it, I purchase it, I install it, program it, commission it, and then we give them a first year support for free. And after that, if you want to be on the same level as the general inventory and the priority, then here's an SLA that you pay, and we make some extended warranty stuff out of it.
Have you considered kind of commandeering that person? Like if they have their own departmental biology AV person and saying, if you'll help me pay for their salary, I'll take them under my wing, get them traded up. And now there's no SLA. And you just kind of pirate their person.
Yeah, there's not a department AV person. We have college consultants. They're basically desktop help that go around and make sure the desktops work. And
I pitched that to some of our more hands-on crews, like the business schools or the student, where they always want some extra support from us. Can you do after hours? Can you do white glove service? Well, I can't, but I'll tell you, it's going to be an per hour charge or whatever your model is. But if you would hire a person and then give them to me to manage, now you have an extra person.
Sure.
I usually dump that off.
Sure.
They ask me for after hours support. I ask my student workers, hey, you want to make a couple extra bucks this weekend? Go contact them. It's paid outside the whole system. They pay directly into their, cut them a check, and I don't have to worry about managing any of those hours or anything.
Oh, well, that's okay.
That's another way to handle it. So
because we're not allowed to do that, so I just try to
rewind it.
I'm going to go back to the process a little bit. You said you're going to hire a design apprentice, maybe not. They do the documentation. Kind of thinking about capital projects here. I'm in the middle of one where I'm acting as the principal design consultant on it. So how do you see that playing out with capital projects? Maybe you've already done one where the documents are getting submitted into the entire bid set, and you're bidding it out to another integrator, and then the integrator is doing the intensive labor part. Are you all coming in after that and punching it out and then wiping their program and putting yours on? Like, what does that look like as far as you supporting the system when it's done, and are you the one signing off that they are done?
That would be where I want to be. It's not where we're at now. My programmer does have a framework our skeleton for the programs we give out. We give them the actual GUI file so they can copy and paste the buttons and the scheme and everything. The program skeleton has all of our Fusion and XIO connection stuff in it. We've got some self-help stuff already built into it as a model. So they take all of that and expand that to make the room work according to what's needed in the system. And then we go back in, and I walked one of the projects last week and I said, yeah, this looks good. This looks good. No, this isn't going to work this way. And gave them that feedback. So whenever the actual AV consultant comes through, they're not going to say, yeah, that's not going to work, because they don't know. The AV consultant doesn't know how we do it on campus. Right. But I'm easily able to tell them, this is how we need it done. That's why I gave you this information.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
So I'm holding them to a pre-commissioning versus the AV consultant saying, oh, yeah, all the boxes are in, all the cables are connected. They're somewhat labeled in a very cryptic manner.
If they show up. again.
Yeah.
They may not just show up after it's done. And so you don't have a consultant on that job. You don't have so it's you all being the consultant, but leveraging other resources there. So you're supporting their code do they have a 1 year, like the client's not calling the integrator, they're calling you all. Right.
Yeah, we tell them it's like go through us first, and if we'll go out and give 10 or 15 minutes just to see if it is a power button, power brick, something like that we can fix real quick. But if it's a parts replacement kind of thing, I probably have it on my shelf because I've already sat through all the documentation and say, no, I'm not using that part. You're going to use that part. So I keep my inventory low there, throw that part in, take the other one and say, all right, integrator ABC, this one died, go get a RMA and get me the new one.
Yeah. See, what I'm trying to do is figure out, and I've got it in my documentation, and we put it in the bid to essentially lower labor costs, because from an integrator standpoint, if you're having to support a system for a year, you got to kind of build that into your base price or you're going to lose your ass. So we put in there like, hey, once I sign off, there's no obligations for you to come back. And so that helped us keep costs lower too. But it's really interesting when you've got it yourself into the system is when you're the one approving and reading RFIs coming from the electricians and coming from the integrator that bid on it, which is kind of where I am. I'm in Procore. Y'all may or may not know what that is. It's construction software, and you're getting notifications and you have timelines, and you're thinking about, well, we're university and we have all these holidays. Shit doesn't matter when you have construction project. You're the principal designer, so you're finding that you're working quite a bit to just hit that construction schedule. So do you all see any kind of challenges by meeting a construction timeline with your resources, the way things are going? Because I know that's a different timeline than the university upgrade and kind of the day in and day out tasks that you all have.
Yeah, that's some approvals I can get beforehand. We've got a university holiday coming up, but there's not a construction holiday. Then I can work with my technicians to say, all right, let's flex time, or you've got this day off and you're reporting that day. I have the authority and the ability to do that. So I don't think that would be an issue in the long run now.
And it sounds like your staff has buy-in to do that as well.
I know I have one major buy-in. I would put him in as the field supervisor, and he would be over all the technicians essentially. He's great with looking at infrastructure, saying, yeah, that's going to work. No, that's going to work. Wait a minute. We got to rethink about this one. He would be a very valuable asset on especially these two projects I've got going right now, where 2 floor boxes were completely missed on a building that's supposed to open. Actually, the users moved in last week.
So he's the one who's going to go by every week during a weekly walkthrough and check to make sure floor boxes are appropriate, rough ends and walls are appropriate before drywall goes up. So you're spot checking everything just like a consultant would. Right?
Yep.
Excuse me. A consultant's supposed to do.
How, when you're talking about kind of feeling out how to grow your staff, how to get more funding from your administration, and they all say, sure, sounds great. Do they give you a, what do you need to provide? Like, have you just asked them outright? So like, I want 3 people. I need $150,000 a year in salary. Well, okay. That's a little low, but let's pretend.
That's a lot low.
Well, it depends. Do you work for my place?
Do you
work for my place?
Yeah, mileage may vary.
But and you said, look, this is what I need. What do I need to tell you? What would make me successful? Because I had to go through and I talked to my HR rep and I talked to my fiscal officer and I talked to my CIO. What do you all need to see so that this is a rubber stamp request? And it's no longer we're just talking about an idea. It's real. Have you had that conversation? And what was their answer if you did?
Yeah, it hasn't gone that far. The farthest it's gone is we don't have any available FTE slots.
Mm-hmm. So
it's a resourcing conversation. So
and that's why I'm like, because that's where I had to go to my HR folks and my fiscal folks, and it finds out that, oh, well, there are these these stalled ones over here, maybe we could, right? And I didn't know if you'd gone to them and just said, look, I need people. How do I get them? What do I have to have for you?
Yeah.
So
to touch on what Mark mentioned earlier, yeah, the FTE stuff is really difficult, and we've kind of floated around doing just TLP. If we've got these projects coming and facilities is paying my group for this service, there's a bucket of money there that I can pay people out of. And if I can get the service level agreements for the department rooms and that goes in that bucket, then I can start kind of growing that, praying that eventually when an FTE opens, they're like, yeah, we need to move this person into this slot.
Are you a service center?
What do you mean?
Do you bill for your services?
I do.
Can you retain that money year over year, or does the university take it from you?
The answer is the money stays within my team, essentially my supervisor, the VP customer service. He divvies some of that up to pay for other licenses, Epiphan boxes, Vizix players, that kind of stuff. Oh, sorry, I mentioned names.
That's
players
all right.
and recorders.
It's fine. So, sorry, are you subsidizing?
Yeah,
are you subsidizing those other technology purchases through labor?
Yes.
You are. So, okay. So to me, is like when you start looking at, if you were going to create a new position, are you going to have to let go of something else to do that? Or can you expand duties with your current position and not have to invent somebody new? Because you say you had this field supervisor. Let's just jump off on that. You have a field supervisor opportunity. You have this corpus of work that you want to have this person do. Is that different than what they're doing now?
Yes.
It is. And could they do that work plus what they're doing now?
If compensated, they would be glad to.
So is it a new position or an expansion of the current?
That would be an expansion of the current, but I am losing that one of those tier 1 spots doing that.
It's like,
so I have less availability for somebody to run across campus to push the power button on the monitor.
Because sometimes I find that it's easier to expand somebody's role and like take on something and maybe get something versus I have to spin up a whole new. And then if I move somebody now, I'm backfilling. And so that's creating an FTE, which is like physics get in the way.
Yeah. And another way I've done that in the past is, I don't know how much you use student labor, but I have shifted tier 1 to students so they can run across campus, and the FTE that used to do that is now available to do other things.
So I think it's hard to just get the blessing from the resource committee to say, yes, I grant the 1 FTE versus of spot and some pay to come along with that. But having your story in line with, hey, we're a service center, we're seeing this amount of work, we're billing this amount on capital project, where it's coming in here, we're going to offset some of that cost to say some of that tier 1 may be student focused. Maybe we can bring that in at lower cost, so you can kind of shore up and create that full position worth of pay and opportunity and say, this is the scope of this work. So I think it's always hard to kind of dream up a new position because leadership's going to say, well, you're operating fine right now. Why do you need another one?
Right? And so, and that's definitely what they're saying. As what we're doing right now, supporting our classrooms, even though we've grown. Whenever this other campus comes online and this new building comes online, it's going to add like another 20 rooms to the inventory. But I'm still only at 4 people. Yeah. We opened up a building last spring that had 15 rooms in it, but I'm still at 4 people.
Wait,
and they see these buildings opening.
You have
and
over
all of these rooms coming online,
classrooms?
but they never add anybody else to it.
You have over 300 classrooms with 4 people?
Yes, sir.
I'm not shocked by that. I think a lot.
Larry, that's the way I until last week. 350 supported spaces with 3 full-time staff. So
yeah, it is possible, right? And so I think that's a normal story. You see this exponential expansion of spaces,
a
but
literal
not
phalanx of students running around. So
correct.
That's where I make it up.
I have, and that's where I've leveraged my SLAs to create new positions. I have linked positions to the SLA agreements in
you're
order to create
legitimate
new positions.
So you have to have that monetary trail to say I've justified this amount of labor, and so therefore I can make a person out of that labor request.
And
Right. And my university would look at that as a time limited position. Your time here is limited to the funding keep coming in. If it comes in, your job goes out.
Yeah.
So
where do you stand today? Are you done hiring in the short term? You done building? You're obviously going to probably try to expand long term. What does that look like for, this year and then I guess 5 years out for you all?
Again, that's kind of what I was asking you about. Right now, it's myself as a designer. We got the programmer. We got 4 techs. They're not letting me hire anybody. I'm in a small office right now. They're trying to expand that, so I don't have a lot of room for even students. I barely have enough room for 2 students to sit down.
Yeah.
So I run 3 students right now during the summer, trying to get them working, in the rooms this summer. So whenever the fall comes, they're not just walking in all sheepish in front of a room saying, I have no idea what this AV system does. Well, you put one together, so you really should know what's going on. So that's what I try to do during the summer. They stay on with me most of the time through the fall, spring, and hopefully through the next summer. I try to bring in sophomores so they stay for a couple of years without
higher
wasting
freshman
training.
and sophomore, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think your staff not necessarily has the capabilities, but has the want or the desire to take on more for more money so you can expand that without new positions, kind of like what we were talking about earlier? Is that your next approach maybe?
I just don't think there's enough bandwidth to do that.
Yeah.
If I put a field supervisor in there, that's great, but now he's got more duties to go look at projects and he can't support. I've got the 4 techs are just absolutely bleeding through the classroom upgrades this summer. I'm out there turning the screwdriver.
So are you saying that you're limited by the actual physical space of offices plus the whole hurdle of creating a new FTE? Is that the 2 biggest variables?
Well, the 3 variables is one is the space, second is the money, and then the third is
Clemson.
They're saying they're
money. You got Clemson money.
They've got money. Well, okay, maybe it's not the money side of it. Then you might be right. It's just the FTE.
It's the process.
There's a slot there.
Yep.
And just for clarifications, I don't see any of that athletic money, and I don't support any of that athletics, and I am not going to.
Checks.
How weird! I mean, all the rest of us, we get direct cuts. Stupid athletics.
There's part of me that I'm hearing that's like screaming the student story here.
Yeah.
Like if it's really,
I think that's definitely the first step.
Yeah. I think when you say my technicians are bleeding and they're swamped, it's they need assistance. They need assistance so you can scale that portion of the process.
Have you thought about doing like just a labor contract where you're hiring in labor and you got people working beside your team?
Or hire students,
right? But I know that where to put them is a different thing. That's a different story altogether. But
I mean, you can't just hire students and leave them on the grass to roll around. You got
because I feel like a lot of people get this thing confused a lot. I've seen it with different staffing at different places. Is that seldom does it ever work that you're not going to be asked to do the job until the title comes. If you do want to move into something else, you are going to have to show that you're going to take that initiative and do it now. So
I did that. I had a tier 1 technician and he said, hey, I'm really interested in this DSP stuff, this audio stuff. I was like, cool. Here's access to the training. Here's access to the software. Go play with it. You got a box on your desk. Go play with it. You can look at some of the live stuff we've got. Just makes there's a room going. That was a trust thing. I really trusted this guy.
Firmware.
And he learned that, and I was like, cool. I see that you can do this. Let me go to bat for you. Right. I went to bat for him. I was like, all right, this guy really knows his audio programming. I need that off of my plate. He needs a pay raise. It went through. He was like, cool, I got audio programming. Well, now let me go do some control programming. And he worked with another guy, got kind of introduced with that, and he's doing all my control programming now. He's done a lot of self-help that has really reduced the image, our projector is not working. Well, you got the image mute on, but there's a self-help button there that says go turn all this stuff this way and that way. So he put all that together, and that's taken a lot off my plate. And I got him a pay raise for that. So yeah, that avenue is there, but I only need one programmer right now. So I can't promote anybody else up that way. I do need a field engineer. So that is one of my next steps. I need this guy to be in this position at this rate, and he's going to be over all these other technicians that come in when they come in.
Do you have to conform to union guidance on your positions?
No.
Depends if they're a union shop or not.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's
a whole different animal for folks that are having to deal with that.
South Carolina's right to work.
We interrupt this episode of On Topic because the hosts have once again demonstrated that brief discussion is not a concept they recognize. They kept talking for nearly an hour, which is less of an episode and more of a hostage situation. So for the safety and convenience of our listeners, this conversation has been divided into two more manageable portions. Part 2 will continue immediately from this point, with no recap, no apology, and very little evidence that anyone learned a lesson. Please locate the next episode in your podcast feed.
Thanks for putting up with yet another episode of AV Super Friends On Topic. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at avsuperfriends.com.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV Super Friends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.